Hello, and welcome to Antioch's Virtual College Fellowship, where our fellowship's goal is to keep our college students connected to Christ through simple faith applications. Today, we are joined by Ed Thomas. Ed was born and raised in Lansing, Michigan, graduating from Lansing Everett High School. He obtained a bachelor's degree in financing from Western Michigan University and an M.B.A. from Northwood University. Currently, he works for General Motors as the engineering group manager overseeing Canadian launch activities. The son of Pastor Ed Thomas and Lady Thomas of Antioch Church, Lansing, he is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, serves as an Operation Excellence project leader, and sits on a panel for incoming engineering students for the University of Michigan. Please help me welcome Ed Thomas. So Dominic, we're going to kick it to you first.
All right, Dominic Mason. And my first question we got for you here is, can you tell us about a time when your faith was tested during your journey in your professional life?
Well, I feel like at every level, every stage, you always have a moment where you feel like your faith is being tested. So it never really stops. It's not like, oh yeah, I had that one moment over there and nothing else has happened since then. So just to kind of get that out the way, life is ebbs and flows and all of that. So you're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, just trying to manage through them. But I was one of the major faith testing moments that I've had in my career was in 2019. I got tapped on the shoulder to take a position down in Arlington, Texas. And that position was going to kind of give me a more well-rounded experience throughout the company. I've already done a lot within the company, and having that extra tool to my toolkit would just kind of set me up for future opportunities and whatnot. So something that I talked about with my wife, something I talked about with Pastor and Lady T, and prayed about it. Felt like this was the move to make. You know what I mean? So job moved me down there, set me up with the apartment, set me up with a car and all of that. And everything was going great. I mean, I don't know if you guys been to Texas or not, but it's beautiful. It's an open landscape. The weather is good. The people are nice. It's just like, just a really good atmosphere in Texas. We had started to settle in a little bit. Got the kids in school, a good school that was right down the street from where we were staying, and everything was going well. We were working out. You know what I'm saying? I was getting buff. But everything was going really good. The job was going well. And then 2019 ended, 2020 came.
COVID.
And it's like things just started to take a turn. First was Kobe, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh,
It ain't been right since Kobe gone, man. It ain't been right.
What's happening?
It ain't been right.
And then right after that was COVID, you know what I mean? And it didn't really get serious until the M.B.A. shut down. That's when everybody started really paying attention, right?
Right.
That's when I started panicking.
Right. So everything shut down, as you guys all know. So everybody's personal lives were affected, work lives were affected. Being down there in Texas, we didn't have the support system that we had up here in Michigan. We were just pretty much down there by ourselves, just me, my wife, and our kids. So we didn't have that support, and we were just trying to go through this thing pretty much by ourselves, which was pretty scary in the moment because you don't know really what's going on, what's happening. You turn on CNN, MSNBC, all that stuff, and you see all these the tolls, the numbers are just rising, right? And
scary.
like there's an end in sight. And then the other part of that was um, with my job, I was required, even though they had made everybody stay home and say, hey, only the essential workers can go in. We were deemed part of that essential worker group. So I had to go in and even though the plant was shut down, the job that I was doing, installing the tooling, the major tooling in the plants, still
Mm-hmm.
needed to happen. So we were a lot of things were being tested out on us, like the thermal readings as we were walking in. All of those initial safety measures were being tested out on us, and it was pretty nerve wracking. Having to be out on the road, which was 2020 was a crazy time, right? I mean, I
It
was
was.
on the road and there was nobody else out on the road. You know what I mean? It was just me, and I'm driving. I'm like, and this is crazy. And with everything that was going on with COVID, with the environment at the job, and then also with the kids, like we had to pull them out of school. They had to do the virtual learning, which
Yeah.
it's pretty easy now once you think about it. But I mean, back then it was hard.
Yeah.
Dealing with all of that was really tough, and I was just it's like every night it was just like weighing on me. It's like, man, this is not what I expected it to be. Like I prayed about this,
Mm-hmm.
thought this was going to be different. Like
Hmm.
what's going on? And it wasn't a good feeling. And I would just pray, and I said, God, this is terrible. Straight up, this is terrible. But I'm going to trust you, and whatever it is that you are trying to teach me or you want me to learn in this moment, make it clear,
Mm-hmm.
because right now I can't see it. While you're going through the storm, it's hard to see why. You know what I mean? Until after it's up. So
It's true. It's true.
yeah. So during that time, through all of the issues that were going on within the job, I was to help elevated in my position to help us get through that launch phase, right? So I was learning a lot. I was making a lot of connections. I was getting things done, things that I wouldn't have done or been able to do had not I gone through that situation. And coming back from Texas after that launch was over, positioned me to then get a promotion, just like a month or two right after that. And because of all of that work that I was doing and stepping up and handling things that were above my pay grade at that time, that put me in a position to then 6 months after that get another promotion. So within 6 months, I got two promotions.
It's
And
a
it was all
blessing.
on,
Good.
what I had to go through in that moment. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it all kind of worked out in the end, but it was really challenging. And, I guess, really going through situations like that, the biggest thing is to just try to figure out, okay, well, what am I supposed to learn during this time? Because it
Yeah.
stinks. I mean, it's not a good feeling, but what am I supposed to learn? What are my takeaways? And what is God trying to put on my heart, trying to put on my life, and just go from there.
I like that.
Powerful.
It always it always seems like when things are gonna go good, things go real, real hard right before it.
Yep.
Every single time it get real hard right before something good happens in your life.
Yep.
But once you push through that adversity, it's only up.
Absolutely.
It's only up from there.
Did you have any tips, like when you were going through those hard times? Any tips you have for someone else going through that?
One, I would say get into your word. You know what I mean? You need to have something to lean on. Of course, you guys, you have a great foundation, right? Growing up in the church and whatnot. Really get into the word. Um, if you need to fast during that time just to kind of clear out everything and just focus, that's always a good method. And then just try to find an outlet. You know what I mean? During that time, it was it was hard because you couldn't really be around people,
Yeah.
and you
Mm-mm.
not like just like go and play basketball, right? You
Yeah.
know, you're working from home.
Go to the
And
gym, blow some steam.
yeah, if I have like a break in one of my meetings or something like that, or it's like a lunch break, I got a hoop right out in the driveway, and I'll just go shoot for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Just something to
Yeah.
just kind of get your mind off things and just get a break from whatever is happening, in your life, and just try to get through it that way. But yeah, stay in the word, stay connected. Try to lean on the foundations that you built in your life. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded, people who are going to build you up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Encourage you through the tough times, and just try to find a hobby or outlet or something like that.
I like that. Like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Thank you for that answer. Tiana, you wanna take the next one?
So to piggyback off of Dom's follow-up, Ed, what advice can you give to people entering into the job market right now?
That are entering the job market, I would say to run your race. Speaking from experience, your journey is going to be different from the next person's journey. When we get into the job market, or we start to settle into our career, we tend to look at people that maybe we admire, or people who are in a certain position, and we say to ourselves, okay, yeah, that looks like something that I would want to do, something that I could do. And then, we try to follow in those footsteps. And, I've been in this situation before, but that trying to follow in somebody's footsteps doesn't necessarily get you to the same results. All right. So that's their journey. And you may get to that level and you may get to that position, but your path and your journey just may be different, and that's okay. You got to allow yourself to grow. You got to allow yourself to make mistakes, allow you
Hmm.
to learn, and just try to be the best version of yourself day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? Like that Mamba mentality.
There it is.
Yeah, that's what it is right there. I always try to say, try to push for 1% better every single day.
Every day. Yeah.
That's how you keep on going.
Yeah.
But was that end of your question, Tiana?
Yeah, go ahead, Devin, take it away.
I wanted to know, how does your career align with your calling, would you say?
Um, it's always a good question. I feel that
It's a great
right.
question.
I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that looks like. Um,
Hmm.
and I also feel that, your career and your calling don't necessarily have to be the same thing, right? I
Okay.
know social media tells you that in order to be happy and to be looked upon as successful, that needs to be the case, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Now your career may prop you up and put you in a position to execute your calling. You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
When you look at somebody like LeBron, who's, a great basketball player,
Ever.
look, the work that he's done off the court is just as great or even greater. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, he's been able to, through his foundations and all that, been able to help change lives, been able to change futures of the people in his community. And he was able to do that by the position that he was in, by being a basketball player and being extremely successful at that. But,
Yeah.
that's a career. But the calling may be to actually give into the community. So those things may be a little bit different. So it doesn't necessarily to me have to be, hey, I work this job and this is my calling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's different, and it's okay if it's different.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I like the way you put that. Definitely put things in perspective. For sure.
Wise words, man. Wise words.
It is.
Okay. I got another one for you. I know we touched on this a little bit already, but what are some of the ways you dealt with adversities throughout your journey?
Well, I played sports growing up, played basketball mainly, right? And in sports, adversities, obstacles, whenever you're presented with something, you have a couple choices. Either you can, combat those things by trying to get better at them, or you can just try to shy away and, not work on those things. So for instance, I'm left-handed, right? I'm able to dribble both hands without an issue. But an example, if somebody who's a right-handed player, basketball player, if all they do is just work on the right hand, their strong hand, their dominant hand, layups and dribbling and all that, their left hand is weak. So whenever somebody force them left, or whatever, so you can either work on that or you can just try to, hide that and limit yourself for what you can do and how far you can go. So in my journey, I've been in different positions with going to or taking on new roles or new responsibilities. There's always things that you're going to learn. You never go into a new position knowing everything, right? If you know everything, kudos to you. But I met anybody who knows everything, even people who've been in that position for, 10, 15 years. There's still things that you are able to learn. But coming into a new position or coming into a position period, there's things that you don't know. And one of the things that I like to do is if I'm presented with something that, I have no knowledge on, I take a step back and I say, okay, well, where is the information? Where are my resources so that I can get myself well versed on the subject or whatever it may be, and I try to turn that weakness into a strength. So I look at it as a challenge, you know what I mean, rather than something that I try to shy away from or hide from. And I actually, whenever I do come upon things that I don't know, it kind of excites me a little bit because the feeling that you get from not knowing something, the part that excites me is knowing that I'll never feel this way again because I'm about to make sure that I know as much as possible. I'm going to be, an expert on this so that when this situation does arise again, I know what to do. I know how to handle it, things like that. So yeah, that's how I try to overcome, some of the adversities is just try to tackle them head on, try to, get as much knowledge and expertise.
The learning aspect.
Yeah, I'll reach out to who know more. You know what I mean? That's really to reach out to those resources because people have a wealth of knowledge. So coming into this role as the engineering manager, I don't think, but I know there's guys on the team who've been doing this job for 15 years. So rather than going up on something and messing it up and just trying to figure it out and hope that it turns out okay, just call them. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, I'll make you my mentor. You know what I mean? My peer mentor. And in this role, I'm going to hit you up. You know what I mean? We're going to be best buds. So
yeah, I like how you put that basketball analogy. That's how I guard Dom in real life. He can't go left at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy. It's that weak side. It's that weak side, man. That's how you guard Dom. Just know.
Man, Dom, got you flip like pants.
Hey, don't try that. Don't try it. Not Jaylen Brown out here.
Yeah, he can't go left. That's true. That's hilarious.
Thank you for that. Okay. Tiana, I'll let you go ahead and take the next one.
All right, Ed. How do you create balance when surrounded by individuals who may not share your same faith?
Well, I would say to stay true to yourself. Stay true to the positive influences in your life. You know, the teachings that you get from your parents or your pastor, Pastor Thomas. That's what's going to keep you grounded. You know, other people's opinions don't necessarily have to become your truth, become your reality. You know, they can believe what they want, but just stay true to who you are, you know, what you believe and who God has called you to be. Lead by example. You know, I've had friends who don't necessarily share the same deep-rooted belief that I have, right? But those same friends will reach out to me and ask for prayer if they're going through something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just by leading by example. So, you know, just be you and don't let any outsiders try to change who you are. And, you know, I know we had talked about, or Dev had mentioned this before in another setting, but just really surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded. You know, as I talked about before, you know, people that build you up. When you look at, or when I look at, or you know, when you look at my core group of guys, you know, Rod, Jamal, Bowie, Juan, you know, those guys grew up with same mindset, same mentality. Whenever somebody might be going through something, like we get on the phone, we pray. You know what I mean? So always lifting each other up, always building each other up.
Helps having that good support system.
Yeah, you got to have that good support system, a tight circle. As you guys start to, you know, get older, you'll start to see you don't really have a lot of friends. You'll start to have like a core group of friends. And really, like my whole life, I haven't, you know, I've had a lot of friends, right? But my core group has always really been my core group. Yeah, just trying to stay balanced and maintain that good group of friends, and then just knowing that everybody around you can't rise with you. Like, you know, sometimes you got to let some folks go because they're weighing you down. So, you know, just take a look at your inner circle and, you know, make some executive decisions.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Ed, for your time. Is there any way that we can get any information, any contact information for you?
Yeah, so I'm not really on social media like that, but you guys can reach out to me via email, edward.m.thomas1@gmail.com. So if you guys email me, have some questions, and of course you guys got my contact. So anything that you guys ever need from me, just let me know. You know, I'm there.